do you determine what ethnicity your characters are going to be?
They tell me. Other than the females, they're always going to be black because all of them also holds a piece of me. Lorelai very much was my red, like, my burnt orange locks that
Mm.
came from me. And her like, I think that I'm gonna try to write someone bigger, but I'm only 5'2". So like I will probably write people who are like 5'5" and below because I'm short. And so yeah, like she will always be black, but like the woman will always be black. But the males, they determine, they literally like just tell me, like I said, this book I'm writing now, he was like, can you stop trying to make me white? Because that's not who I is. I'm black, right? And I'm like, okay, dang, you ain't gotta keep saying it. He said the N word 50 times so far, and I'm only on chapter 5. Relax, bro. Because I don't even say the N word. Why are you saying it so much? It's weird now.
But
Weird.
that's his characteristic.
And
That's
that's who he
him.
is. And that's
He's
who he
telling
is.
you,
And
I'm a NIGGA for this bitch.
yes, that's his thing. And I'm like, okay, sure.
I'm screaming. I love it. Are you an outliner, or
Hell no,
are
girl.
you just right for the seat of your pants?
I am a pantser all the way. I've tried so hard to become a planner. I have tried so hard to become a planter. I've tried so hard to be a note taker. I've tried so hard to like put myself in this box. And I think why it was so easy for me to write Wrapped in Obsession was because I said, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna write this shit. Like, I said, I'm gonna write this, and my editor is gonna get what she's gonna get, and then if she needs to clean it up, she can do that. And it came back, and she's like, "There's some things, but not really a lot for real." And I'm like, "Okay, good." Like, I'm happy to hear that. But I'm a very much a pantser writer, and I cannot write sporadically. I have to write chronologically. The way that it unfolds in my head as a movie is the way that I have to write it out. I can't jump and be like, well, I'm not getting anything for the scene. Let me move on. I can't do that because that's not how it's going on in my mind. I have to write it that way. Hi,
So when okay, so when you're writing,
Livy.
you're playing the movie out. So does the movie disappear?
I
That's
still see Take Me There in my head vividly all the time.
really.
Yeah, and I still see Wrapped in Obsession all the time. And I think, especially because I like to write series, I kind of have to. You know what I mean? Like I have to be able to see those in order to do the next book justice. Like, because they go together. I have to use pieces of them. So, it kind of just keeps playing. It's more like, you know how you put on a show on the TV, but you're not really watching it. You're doing other stuff, but it's still playing. It's like that. It's like playing back in here somewhere, but it's not like I hear it. I can, like, if I want to go and look at it, I can, but it's not like boom in your face. And that's with all of them. It depends what I'm working on. So right now I'm working on this contemporary, and that's the one that's like in my hindsight right here. And then book two in this Vice Syndicate series is like kind of playing silently, and if anytime something pops up about it, I run to in my notes app in my phone, thank you so much, y'all, in my notes, and I write down ideas and things. And that, I think that's as far as my note taking goes, is where I do that. But like, I've tried to, oh, I love you. That's my twin. Ah, I love you. And I tried to do the note taking. I've even had Nancy. I'm like, help me, teach me how to be a planner. But the truth is that it's been like this my whole life. When I was in high school, and I would write essays, even when I was in middle school, when I had to write essays, and they would be like, oh, write the outline, and then you go and write the essay, or then you go write the paper, whatever, right? I could never do that. I would have to write the essay first, and then I'll write your outline after. And my teachers just like left me alone. They were like, you're still getting an A pretty much, so just do whatever works for you. And it just works for me. And I know that not everybody works like that, and that
But your
people,
brain works differently. Everybody's brain, everybody's process is not going to be everybody else's process. That's
that's
why
right,
I asked
yeah.
that question, is because everybody has a different process.
And that's why I was so happy that you said when you read Wrapped in Obsession, it read to you like a movie, because that's how it played in my head. It played out just like that. Yes, sure, there's some things that I took and tweaked, and and then I'm like, I hear what y'all trying to say, because we be fighting up in here for real. I'm like, I hear what y'all trying to say, but that don't make no damn sense. So we're not writing it. We're switching it up. We're
Because
gonna
I
do
was
it
like,
this
are we
way.
at Grey's Anatomy right now? And then it went
Yeah.
from Grey's Anatomy to her going to her car, and I was like, I can see it. She just
Yeah,
walking fast.
like
She got her
in like a
scrubs
cut
on.
scene, right? It was very much works like cut scenes in a way, but it's fluid. Like it just kind of just goes, okay, this happened in here, and that's nice, and then here we go, moving over here, and it still ties in together because she'll still talk about when she was just in this little incident, but it just changes up, and so yeah, so like I write, and everything is just very fly by my seat and see what happens. Maybe that'll change down the line. As of right now, I'm no longer. I've decided, and I told myself, because I almost did it with this contemporary, I tried to push again at first to write an outline. And I said to myself, going forward until something clicks, I will not stifle my creative process. I will write it exactly the way it's coming to me, because that's my process. I don't have to be like everybody else. There is no, and I get that often. People ask, like, oh, what is the process of writing a book? You write it. There is no process, because I can't tell you what's the secret formula to write the best book. I don't understand how people can say that. Yes, I do understand that it works for some people to have that structure, but the truth is that everyone's process is different. And when you try too hard to do what someone else's process is against your natural instinct to do something, it's not going to come out the same. You're going to lose your voice. And I don't want to lose my voice. So this is also why I didn't want to become traditionally published, because I don't want to lose my voice. I don't want to do it the way y'all want me to do it. I'm going to do it the way I'm going to do it, and that we're gonna
And
get it done.
that's probably why I pushed indie authors so much. Not push y'all, like I push your work so much. I love it because it's raw, it's uncut, it's not stifled. You're getting the whole story. If they screwing, then they screwing, and you getting the whole play by play. If they being stalked, you're getting the whole play by play. I love that because sometimes when you read traditionally pub, it's like, but something more could have happened here, or
Feels like
something.
somebody stopped you from pushing it
Yeah,
further.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so like I used to try I used to be like, well, why? But why? I get it now. I do. I get it now. We just have to figure out a different vehicle for you guys to have a different platform so that you can get your coin because you deserve all that money. And I see why traditionally published publishers are nervous with you guys because you taking coins from them.
Taking coins. They're not playing. People are not like, and I'm not saying, and I don't, because there are some, honestly, some very beautiful authors that become traditional. Okay. Like I'm talking about not even the indie publishing houses, because I still rock hard for those and I love those. I'm not gonna lie. The ones who really love and want to keep the heart of indie authoring down. Um, but in traditionally published authors, there are some nice, good ones in there.
I
But
mean, and there are. I'm not saying it's not. I'm never
but
gonna
but
say
and we're
not.
never gonna say it,
Because
but
I root for everybody black.
yes, but I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna get the same heart that you're getting in an indie author. You'll
Mhm.
never get that in a traditionally. Yes, it might be in there, but they're not gonna show you that in their work because they can't. They won't let you. It's not gonna sell to the mainstream media. They don't want to sell it like that. They want to be able to have these books in Targets and Walmarts and Barnes and Nobles and stuff. And this is why it's so hard as an indie author to get yourself in those spaces. A lot of times is because we really push the envelope. You know what I mean? And but I love it. It is a flex, I feel like, to say I'm an indie published author, because it's hard. It's
But
hard.
is that something that you want to? Does that matter to you that for your books to be in stores on the shelves?
No,
I like that answer.
it does
I like
not.
it. I like it for you, but as a reader, I hate it because if I'm going to into a store, I want to see you guys on there. I want to be able to have my pick
I
of
agree.
books. I want to be able to go in there and be like a whole arm full of books saying, I'm buying these. Because when I go into a
Mm-hmm.
bookstore, the representation is not there. And then
It's always very whitewashed. Very palatable. It's very palatable
I don't
black.
want to always be palatable.
Mm-mm.
I
And I
want to
don't,
be.
and some people can argue and say that because I write interracial, that there's instances where they are in quote unquote I'm like, no, that's way different. You know what I mean? Like, because I've gotten that very often. Like, while yes, I do at times my New York accent comes out in certain things for sure, right? But then also I speak very like I'm very articulate when I speak, and that's because my mom didn't play that shit. She went, if I was like, I ain't going, she's, excuse me, you ain't what? Oh, let me rephrase that. Let me, like, you know what I mean? Let me find a better way to use that. Like, your vocabulary is way more vast than this, than what you're trying to say. So fix that. So sometimes that does reflect, I feel like, in my characters, but then there's also times where they just like cut loose and they're just really chill. You know what I mean? And I like that because I feel, personally for me, I feel like that when I by doing that and writing how they feel more than what I think is like, keep them this one way, figure out who your character is and keep them this way. Don't change them a lot through your books. I feel like when you do that, for me anyway, it stifles the complexities that are humans, because you could talk to me and be very like, I can talk to someone very studiously. I can, like, articulate and speak really big words because I know a lot of them, but then I can also be with my friends and be like, nah, for real, I know you fucking lying, like, you know what I mean? And I like to show that sometimes in my books where they can almost code switch in a way, not intentionally, but it's just like sometimes they'll be very and sometimes they'll be like, nah, whatever. So it just depends.
One thing, okay, so I just interviewed editor Chloe Kane on Friday or Sunday.
Hmm.
Sunday, I get whatever day it was. It was a few days ago. And one thing she said is that she likes for the author to show their work, show what's going on. You did that very well.
Oh,
You
thank
did that very well
you.
because you showed what was going on. You showed the emotion. It wasn't like uh she thought about it. It was the her walking and she's looking around. It wasn't like was she felt like somebody was right there. You actually showed her looking, and you can
Baby,
feel her. You know,
baby, baby. When I tell you, what you're talking about is the showing versus telling. When I tell you that, I don't care. No, I'm just kidding because y'all lying. That is the most difficult thing about writing is the showing versus telling, because you have to have a balance. There's some instances where you really got to tell, and there's some instances where you really got to just show that. And I sometimes fumble that a little bit. Um, and I have to catch myself. And I literally like have an example every time I'm writing, like in a little window that says, give um I think I asked Chat GPT one day. I said, give me an example of showing versus telling. And I copied and pasted that, and I constantly look at that. So when I'm writing something, I'm like, no, 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 no. That I'm telling this. So then I'm like, but how would I show it? And I have to think. I'm like, okay, okay, yeah, that let me show it that way. It's not very easy sometimes. Sometimes it's quite hard. And you have to work at that. And as my lovely twin would say, it's a muscle. So it's something like I know that this time writing right wrapped in obsession was a lot easier, and I know now writing as contemporary has been a lot easier for me to show. And I feel like as I keep going on, maybe it'll be easier. But sometimes it gets you get so engrossed in telling the story that you forget that you need to show the audience, you need to show your character in the story, not tell about your character in the story. So it's sometimes a little hard.
but what's interesting to me is now that I've been doing this podcast, and I'm listening to authors talk, editors talk, talking to Ty Lee and just soaking up. I'm reading you guys in a different lens. I
Hmm.
don't know if anybody else is going through that, but I hear you guys now in a different lens, which is crazy to me. Like I look for those subtle things of does this timeline matching? Is there a plot missing? I'm not looking for the misspellings and the grammatical errors and all of that stuff. I don't, it is
Because it's
what it is.
human. It's a human error. It happens.
Exactly. But I'm now going, oh, she said this happened 6 months ago. So, and then if I'm looking at another story, but that do coincide. Like, wait a minute, hold on. I
Yes.
get
And when it,
excited about those little details now.
I stressed and wrapped in obsession, like I literally was sitting there with my calendar open and I was like, okay, this takes place in December 2023 because Take Me There took place in May of 2024. How many weeks in this span did I want them to do this? I wanted it to be quick. It's right around Christmas, so it's got to be like I literally was like, okay, so if this gala was at this day, and I said a week later it's got to be at this day, like I was stressed myself out
Yes.
because then
Yes.
there's also a point in time where she didn't realize what day it was because she like wasn't keeping track how long she's been there, which has only been she was only there for like 3 4 days, right? But in her head, um, you might want to catch that person. Who's this person down here? This little dot.
I don't see anything. Hold on. I have to go up.
I
I don't see anything. What are they saying?
don't want to repeat it, but they said
Uh,
something about and it's a little dot.
okay.
You see him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case, these trolls be coming.
And they do.
Um, they do. And so I very much I agreed. I think that being on both sides that I'm an avid reader. I did like I read 252 books last year, right? And while releasing 2 books, like I read and I read fast. I'm a really fast reader. And I do and getting in this space also with book talk and meeting editors, meeting other authors, meeting other readers. I've learned a lot and I'm seeing it all differently. I'm seeing it all how complex it is. I'm seeing it from the side of a reader, but I'm also seeing it from the side of an author. Like that it's like what y'all be wanting is crazy. Like I had somebody was like, I loved your book so much, but I think the editing could have been better. And I was like, okay, so you want to pay for it? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Like, but the truth is like it's not as easy as you guys think it is, and it's normal. I can edit a book until I'm blue in the face, but like things are going to happen. And I reference Blue Sapphire again because she's one of my favorite authors. She is redoing Legally Bound that came out in that came out thank you, honey. That came out in 2015. I think she released that book, and she is re-editing that whole world, and that world goes into like I want to say like 30 books. Is all one world. They're all different series, but it's all one world that she built off of Legally Bound. And she's going back from Legally Bound 1 and she's re-editing and re-releasing these books because she has a book in that series that's coming out. But she's like, how I was thinking in 2015 and the writer I was in 2015
It's not
definitely ain't
how
the
I
writer
think
that I'm in
now.
2025. You know what I mean? So she's dedicating all of 2025 is only going to be to that series where she's editing and re-releasing this series, right? And when people say like, "Oh, there's grammatical errors," but it's not so serious that you can't read it, boo. I promise you, it's
Exactly.
not. Okay, and I'm
Exactly.
like, and I really feel like people need to give some credit. People like they like, and when people like dump down on, especially indie authors, but when I'm gonna say authors period as a craft. When people and I see readers and book talk reviewers because you could tell the people who just be doing it for clown who really be doing it for real. They come on here and they dumpster dive on these books and like trash it. And I don't think they know how hard it is. And listen, I'm a knuck if you book kind of a person. Listen, because my mom came in here all nice and stuff, but for real on the low, she a thug for real. And while I am a very kind and I lead with love first, and I try to that way, I am a whole thug up here for real. And if I flip that switch and become my mama real quick, you're gonna get the Bronx Mount Vernon side of me that is my mom real quick. And I be with the shits, and people be like, "Oh, just block them." Nah, sometimes I got time today. I be bored. Like my kids be at school, my husband be at work, so I'll be bored. So I'll play around with you. Like I don't care. Like when somebody was just like, I don't get the appeal for interracial romance. I don't give a fuck if you don't get the appeal for ND romance, interracial romance. I don't care. You're gonna read this book, or you're not gonna read this book, or you're gonna read this book and tell me you hated it. But guess what? I still got paid. Still got paid, baby. Whether you hated it or not, I still got your money.
Exactly, exactly. And what's amazing to me is if you like something, then okay. If you don't like it, why are you continuing on? So are you
Mm-hmm.
the unofficial fun police? I don't get it.
Unofficial fun police. Yes.
I don't get it. I don't, I really
Ooh.
don't get the fact how you'll get 1 star based on the opinion. Well, I didn't like the ending. Is it supposed to go the way you thought it's supposed to go, or is it supposed to go? Did the story flow? Did you
Mm-hmm.
understand it? Just because you didn't like it does not mean it wasn't a good story. So I don't understand how readers rate like that. That's why I stopped giving. Unless it was perfect to me, you're gonna get a 5 star. If it's a 5 star, you're not gonna get no stars. It's gonna be,
Mm-hmm.
I liked it, I enjoyed it. You know, if I feel like if it was missing something, I'm not gonna put it out there. I'm not. I'm gonna, if the author is asking me for my my opinion, I'm going to tell them, okay, so this I didn't get, or I felt like this was this, I felt like this was that. Not so much I just didn't like the ending, or I didn't like how it began, or I'll be like, oh, the beginning felt rushed. Was there something supposed to go before this? Did you take something out to make it seamless? Those are
Mm-hmm.
the notes that I'm sending the author. And I'm only sending it to the author if they say it's okay. Send it to me.
Because your unpopular opinion did not. I don't give a damn.
Exactly. I'd be like, hey, I read your book. I just had a few questions. Do you mind if I send you my little recap? I want to, I don't want to, I read it. I just didn't want to post a bad review, but this is what I found. And it's always something to do with, oh, was it rushed? It was a little slow here. Was that intentional? So that I can
Mm-hmm.
understand your writing technique so I can decide if I'm going to read another book.
And this is where I was talking about and take me there. I had someone did message me and they asked, they said, was it intentional that you had Faven's character very sporadic? And I was like, yeah. Because one thing I'm not gonna do is lie. If I wasn't like, no, I wasn't. Ooh, what should I
Right.
make? But no, I intentionally. I'm not gonna give the book away at all. But she does because it already says that she's obviously they tell what kind of happens in the prologue. I mean the my blurb that she lost her family. So you can assess that she's probably gonna be grieving. That was her grieving process. Her grieving process was that she was really recluse, so that she was really angry, or she's really happy, or she's crying, or she was irrational. Like, and I intentionally did that. I intentionally did that when she decided to just free herself and be who she is and stop trying to stifle the person that she really is, that I showed what it was like with someone's mind basically cracking, and where she was like kind of talking to herself and then she was talking out loud and she was rambling, and it was just like, because that's really what it be like sometimes, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, I love those kind of things when you ask me that question, like, hey, I read it and I really liked it, but I was just wondering is blah blah blah. But it's the bullying that comes sometimes with some of these reviewers, that they, because everybody has an opinion. I'm never going to take that from someone. You can feel how you want to feel about something. I don't, honestly, I really don't care. People say, oh, I don't go on Goodreads. I'm going to go on Goodreads every time. You got something bad to say? I don't care. As long as you don't literally say something like, I don't, you can say whatever you want really, because I don't care, except for don't try to do something that's intentionally trying to harm me. I don't care. That's nice for you. If you didn't like it, it wasn't your cup of tea, because you know what the truth is that there are billions of peaches in this world. And while they're good and delicious, there is somebody out there who don't fucking like peaches. And that, no, there's nothing you can say, do, talk, whatever. They're going to tell you, I can't stand peaches. I'm not eating them. And that is what it is. the avocado, and everybody's like, avocado's so good. And I'm looking at them like, y'all really lying to yourselves. Okay. And but the truth is, is that like there are people who love avocado hands down. It's the best thing ever.
Right.
But does it take away the fact that avocados are good? No. I just purposely don't like them. And that's
Exactly.
okay. And I feel like that way about anything my writing. You know what I mean? While I do get really nervous, and I'm like in this intimate setting talking about the books, I'm like, okay, breathe. But like at the same, but like when I see a review or if someone tells me I really didn't like your book, okay, do you want me to give you a cookie?
Or what was it that you didn't like? Is it you didn't like the storyline? Because to me, that's me. I'm like, what did you not like the storyline? Well, I don't like how it ended. Okay, so did it flow? Did you understand why it ended the way that it ended? Just because it wasn't your decision doesn't mean that it wasn't a good book. That's what pisses
Mhm.
me off. But you had made a point, and I just lost my whole point. It, it just irritates me.
It is
It
irritating.
irritates me to no end that um people will try and one star it and there's no basis behind it.
There's no basis behind it. And I'm just like, okay. And honestly, like I feel like, and not just me, I just feel like in general, when people rate stuff, that people take like there's there's too much power in the rating system when it comes to books. People hold that too high of a regard. I'm not going to read this because it doesn't have a lot of ratings or it had like 3-star ratings. Honey, you're not buying a fucking car. You're not buying a new sink. You're not buying a new toilet. You
Reading
are
is
buying,
subjective.
yes, you are not buying a new face wash. You are reading a book and it's an art and it's an art and art in the eyes of the beholder. I think it would be nice. Like, there's some people who may not like that. An author that's my favorite author. Like, oh God, I really don't see how everybody like that. That's fine. That's your opinion. And I think that people think their opinion matters too much, and that people always want to be a part of something that they think they have so much power when really you really don't, because we're all human, and your opinion of something is just your opinion, and people follow that cultness too tight to one thing and they like go too hard. I've seen it many of times when someone tried to dog an author on here, and they all want it, like their people swarm them. It's like, breathe. Like, yes, maybe you should not try to dog this author's work, except for if you're a certain author. I'm not gonna say her name out loud, but she already know that I really don't as a person, okay? And she's traditionally published. We're not gonna talk about, she's controversial, so let it go. But she the way people just like dive in and the things that they say, because it's like, why are y'all, breathe, okay? Breathe. It's a book, baby. They are fake stories. They are not real. These characters are not unless you're Francisco Wellington. These people are fake and they don't love you for real.
Francisco was
But
he's
I know in my whole heart of hearts that Francisco Wellington knows me for real. I don't care.
or his
I
name
don't,
is Ian Nevin Law or
he knows
Santiago Welling. Because I
facts.
mean, you might have to tussle with a few of the other ladies, but
We can talk some of you all day, but he knows where
not
home
for me.
is.
With me and you not tussling.
No,
We
I
in
know.
law.
I'm saying that all those ladies can talk, so I be letting them talk their ish. Like when somebody be like, "Yeah, that's my boo," and those girls just be quiet because they're like, "I'm not about to fight with people about what I already know is mine."
I've signed contracts, so I already know.
He's mine, baby. She knows too. She know
You
when she
sent
come in.
that
I ask her.
contract and it's signed, sealed, and delivered.
Francisco
Like,
Wellington is
fight
mine.
amongst yourselves. But
I'm like, I'd be like, when I read that man, I said I knew he was for me.
right here,
When he said
you
he
had
would
a
fight those
whole
baby dolls for his daughter, because how dare y'all try to tell her something? Why? I knew that was my man. Y'all talk
listen.
about all the spicy stuff he was doing. No, baby, no, baby. It was when he went hard for his kid. Because how dare those dolls look at my baby like that?
Wait a minute. It was when she's like, "Daddy, just blow it up." And he was like, "Okay, baby."
Thank you. Do you want to press the button?
Whatever CC wants.
Whatever CC wants. Yes, that is all day. I don't, and you know, and I really actually don't have a lot of book boyfriends that I like read, and I'm like, ah, book
Girl, I got
boyfriend, love it.
husbands.
Like I don't like book husbands, but I don't know what. Well, Smoke Salinas like really had me a little bit too. I'm not gonna lie. When he said, "Diana, come," and she went, I said, "So would I." Wouldn't have, I would have done it.
Wait
I
a
would have done it.
minute.
Are you
It was
crazy?
epic for me. He said, Alani, breathe. And she said,
I'm breathing, gas me for air because you told me I could.
just breathe. And I was like,
Yes,
baby, when she was breathing, I
yes,
was breathing too.
yes, yes, yes. I'm not even lying to you.
And
Yes. What?
even in and that damn ladder, you know what I'm talking about, that Jacob's ladder. And he had his hands on my husband. He said, you do know I can get out of this if I want to. I was like, okay. You got
Listen,
30.
this.
He said, you got 3 hours to get to me.
Do you know you
Okay.
only have 30 minutes? 30 minutes.
Let me hurry up. I don't even have time. Listen, let
And
me
I
hurry
love
up
that.
and be ready.
I love that as authors that we can do this, right? You know what I mean? To be truthful. And I see this on this platform, and I've seen some authors who've popped in here, and you know, my sister's, you know, beauty, nasty. Shawnee don't be playing herself because she be writing on the low, but she don't be telling y'all for real. But like, they're all writers. We're all writers. And, I absolutely love to see them develop these characters and how and just like not even just them but other authors like I go hard for my authors for real like you know what I mean like I love Sean the author could never steer me wrong baby she could never say she was my inspiration to write an MFM book. I was so scared to write a poly book. I've read other ones, but she really was like, "You could do it," and I was like, "I could do this." So I did it. You know, I was a little scared to do, even though I've had this idea in my head for a while about them. But like to write it, this novella, she really pushed that. But like how much we see and appreciate the crafts of other authors in the indie space is freaking beautiful, man. It's awe-inspiring to me, honestly, to see how much we go hard for each other, how much we support each other, how much we're reading each other's things, how much we're grabbing each other's things. And we may not always post about each other all the time, but know that we're supporting for real. I don't really post a lot about other authors on my TikTok, but you're gonna catch me in threads to be like, read it. You better read it because she's writing and I'm
But you know
commenting on
what?
it
You
like you
have
never
your
miss.
social media for a specific thing. So, which is
Hmm.
great. I love
Yeah.
that. I love when authors support other authors. I love when I see the authors, and I'm talking about yours and Beauties and Nasty when y'all do y'all sprints. I be in them things. I might be in the comments, but I be in them things. I'll say, hey y'all. And then I might have to
Those
hop
my
out because
babies.
again, I done became booked and damn busy. But I like to see it. I love when Brianna, Michelle, and Blossom and they be in their little readings in their sprints. I
Yes. And
love
then
that.
we're
I
working
love it.
together. The working together is crazy. And then you know what is even more beautiful about that? That while we have our own individual groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that I can pop into if Brianna is on live. I know I could pop in there and she's still like, "Hey, girl, what you doing? How you doing?" Like there, like we. It is not. It's no. It doesn't feel competitive.
It's not.
And I love that because I was really afraid of that for a minute. I won't lie to you. My sissy Jazz, I miss you. I feel like I haven't seen her in forever. And so I feel like that we don't see that very often, and we are told that we're so catty and we can't get along. But that's not true. And truthfully, one of these, I mean, some authors do gatekeep, yeah, or whatever, but like they're ready to help you. Cien Vega, who honestly in this author journey before I met all of you guys, I've been talking to her for a long time. Like from when I was only reading her books, I wasn't really writing, and I was like, I love your books. And then I started writing. She's like, you're writing a book? Like she, you know what I mean? And she writes interracial dark romance actually. And um I think I wanted to make I kept seeing that she kept making the images where it's like a Kindle and then your cover is in the Kindle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I kept trying to remake this on Canva, but every time I kept doing it, it kept stretching it out. And I'm like, how is this not? So finally, I just messaged her and I said, I hate to bother you. I don't want you to feel like I'm bugging you or just only trying to get information because you know how some people could be. And I was just like, I just want to, how do you make these? She goes, oh, is this link? So she sends me the link. And then recently she just sent me, she was just like, are you doing any author events this year? And I said, no, I haven't signed up for any yet. And I was like, I just never know when they're going to happen. What do I sign them up at? How do I know they're happening? Like, how do people know these things? I'm still trying to learn. I'm still new. And she sent me a whole Google sheet that this lady that does it, she updates it like I think like every week or every couple weeks or something for all author events across the board, like no matter what they are, all romance author events. And I'm like, and she'll let you know if they're still accepting authors to sign up, how much it would cost.
Wow.
And I'm just like, and she had just sent this to me, I think like not too long, maybe like a week ago, maybe. And I like, I looked, I glanced at it and scrolled through. I haven't gone through it yet. And I was just like, you know what I mean? And it's wonderful like that. And then, I have my own like group where I'm with Rael and Akira and Denise,
Hmm.
and we sprint together. We call ourselves the Sprinting for Your Life. That's what we do. You know what I mean? And we sit down and we meet like every Sunday and we write together. And then once a month we talk about where we want our and the author business side, how we want that to work. What do we project for the next month? What do we like? You know what I mean? And I think that that's so important to have, and that there are people in those spaces like that. You do not have to do it alone. Now, with social media, especially, and the way technology works, you don't have to do authorship alone. We used to
You
have to do it
don't.
that way, but you don't. It's not, it's not solitary anymore. You could do it with other people, and it's so much beautiful. I feel like it's so much more beautiful because you are getting yourself out there and networking easier.
Yes, the co-host is here. Skills has made his appearance.
You are so cute. He said,
Whatever.
"Love me forever."
Whatever. Um, Let me ask you this. When you No, I don't like that question. I don't like it. I had a question in my head and it's not coming out the way that I want it to come out. And I just don't like it. Anyway, let me ask you a question. Well, let me ask you this question. What, besides you saying you're shy, what would your readers be shocked to know about you?
Ooh.
Because I didn't know you could sing, so I'll just do that one. But what else?
I can actually sing, and I don't sing for people at all. It's very rare if you hear me sing. There are some people who have caught me, Kira, Denise, and Rael. They've caught me. Sophia in this comment, actually, I've been friends with Sophia since we were in the 10th grade. I've known her for forever.
Wow.
That's my boo. I've known her forever. So she does know I can sing because we've been singing forever. Like we've tried out for like chorus and jazz choir together. Like we've known each other a long time. Let's see. Something that some people don't know about me. Ooh, when I was younger, like I said, I've always loved writing. I wanted to be I wanted to be a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
And I specifically wanted to be a journalist that investigated and exposed poachers,
Mm-hmm.
and to like to own my own reservation to save animals from poaching.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I still actually that's actually kind of still a dream. I feel like I have a lot of life in me, and I don't know where it would take me. But I definitely still want to do that because please leave them babies alone. Please.
Yeah.
Not for your dining room table, not for your carpet, not for your purse. Leave them where they at, please.
What would somebody be shocked to know about me? I'm gonna answer the question. I don't have one. I think everybody knows something about me. What would somebody be shocked to know? Um, I'm grouchy.
You said that earlier how you were like you're really moody. You were saying how he took after your personality, and I was like in my head I'm like I don't see it.
I'm very grouchy.
I don't see it.
If
Like
I
I
wake
just
up on the wrong side, attitude all day long. I'm hollering, I'm barking, leave me alone. I am very grouchy. I try not to show it too often. I'm working on it's I'm ever changing, but I'm grouchy.
Oh, I don't like. You know what? I wouldn't have guessed that.
It's a big
When she's supposed to
attitude,
have moved this
right?
big attitude.
Listen, Talib, I saw it because I was like, I'm not happy today. Like if I'm working, I think that's where she saw it. Like if I'm working, if it's somebody with some dumb stuff, it's
You know what? Now that you say that, and I'm like going, you're talking. I'm like go over every instance that you were in her presence, and have you peeped it? And I have. And you were on Book and Locked, and you were just like, and like it was just like at first I was like, is she okay?
yeah.
You did not
I
smile.
probably had a whole attitude, girl.
And I was
Yeah,
just like, shit, sometimes people have a bad day. But now that you're saying that, like, I can see that you're like, if I'm not in the mood, I'm not in the goddamn mood. And it is what it is.
I'm
It is what it
unapologetic
is.
about it. I'm
It
unapologetic
is.
about it.
It
That's
is. And the people who rock with you will just be like, let her breathe. Listen, I understand that because people know when I really get into when it's a lot and my vibrations are real low, you're not going to see me.
my
I
sister
will
be like,
disappear.
both of my sisters. I mean, all my sisters. They're like, she's in a space. What the fuck is it? She's in a space.
And she's
She's just in a space.
what is this, Sims?
She'll
You
be
just pick me
crying
up
a
and put
little
me
bit.
somewhere?
Let me feed her. If it's not something, feed her. Or my other sister, my youngest sister, she'll be like, "Do we need to talk about something? Like, are you good?" And I was like, "I'm fine." But
I'm
did you
cracking
wake up
up.
on the wrong side? Because you're being real fucked up right now. I was like, "I'm sorry." You want me to give you a few hours? I'm going to call you back. I mean, they'll do stuff like that. My other sister, that's right below me, she'll be like,
Mhm.
"Bitch, get your shit together."
I'm
I was
crying
like,
because
"Can you
that
just
sounds.
give me some space?" And she'll go on out the room and she'll come back. I don't like how you.
Yeah,
This ain't,
and you
again.
know
It wasn't
what?
about
Another
you,
thing, and another thing. I don't like how you looked at me 5 seconds ago because you're having an attitude.
right?
What?
I'm just saying, give me a few minutes. I'm come out of it. Maybe I need to take a nap.
Okay, that's so funny. That's so
So
funny.
I can catch an attitude real quick, and I be trying not to. I do. I promise. I be working on myself, but it is what it is.
I'm trying to hold on.
Huh? What?
When's your birthday? Are you?
Marks. I'm a Pisces.
I'm about to say, are you a water sign?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense.
I'm on the cusp. So my birthday's March 20th. I'm on the cusp.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
So
those are the worst.
I'm
Listen,
Aries
listen,
Pisces.
listen. I love you, Nicole, but those are the worst.
I
Their
know.
attitudes are the worst because you're very like
I'm
can't
wishy
stand
washy
y'all.
to
I'm mad.
begin with.
Yes, and then you're also real stubborn and fiery. Like I'll set this whole bitch up. Don't play with me.
Listen, dog walk you through this whole neighborhood. Stop playing.
Yes, yes, I do. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Listen. I don't, and I've never had to. I mean, I have. Don't let me not lie. I've had to handle a few things, but my youngest sister, mm-mm. She's an Aquarius. She don't do a whole lot of talking. She said, "You hit her, I'm gonna hit you."
Listen, not too much because I'm also an air sign. Okay, I'm a Gemini. I listen, so I understand. I hate when people are like, oh, Gemini's are so wishy-washy. No, baby, we're not wishy-washy. We just know who to bring out when we need to bring them out.
Exactly.
And
But
and that's what I'm saying. Like I lead. My lead is always like I'm bright. I'm like, I love you guys, blah blah blah. But real quick, I go, excuse me.
mhm.
The it snaps. It's not
And I
hard to
give you
just pull her out.
chance. I give you chance after chance.
Yes,
I be
yes, and
like,
I'm not. I can't write out just be like, ugh, like you know what I mean. Like it takes a lot to get there, and trust me, once you hit that. But then also, I'm very quick to know if I'm gonna like somebody. I can tell you in 35 years of my life that when I say I don't like that girl or we're not vibing, and everybody's like, why no? And I had that incident when I was a server at Fridays, and this girl started working there, and I was like there's something
mm-mm.
about her I don't like. And everybody's like, what? She's awesome. We love her. We love her. 6 months in, my boss was like, we got to get her the fuck out of here. I said,
And you
oh,
called
so
it.
now y'all want to listen to me. Now y'all want to listen to me. And now y'all talking about Tashika, go get them out. How? I'm not the boss. I'm not going to get them fired.
Mm-mm.
So like, people like I am rarely ever wrong when I say like I don't like it. I can read people very easily, and if I know quickly if I'm going to mesh with someone or and how far I have to how close I can let them in. So like I know that if they have to be like you can't even be on the same stratosphere as me right now. And then there's people that I'm just like, "Hey, how you doing? Yeah, you're so nice. Thank you, of course." And then keep
Mhm.
it pushing. And then there's my girls who I'm like, baby, I love you. Like, but I know quick. And you might pick it up or you might not. I can tell you that I'm never fake though. I will be honest. Don't
No,
ask
no,
me.
I'll smile. I'll smile. I'll smile, and I think I'm genuine. However, when you piss me off, you piss me off. I'm not fooling with you.
Mm-mm.
And then if I'm
Okay.
quiet, that's when you need to be worried because while you're over here talking, I'm looking at okay, there's that light. I can take there's a tambourine right here. I'm gonna take the
Everything's a
tambourine.
WEAPON. Everything. Because
Listen,
I will
it's
figure out how to
I
use
got
this
some
straw in
scissors
this
right
cup.
here. I got some Windex right here. So if I take this Windex, I'm gonna knock you up upside your head. I'm gonna bash you, and then I'm gonna take this tambourine. In my mind, it's playing as a movie.
Yep. You're
That's
going to
just
think
a
I'm a
kind of part
Guyver.
of me. Yeah, it's like
Yes.
okay, so I know I just had a shot, so there's a bottle right here, and then I can do this. So if I there's scissors right here, so if I puncture you, then I'm gonna take this alcohol and pour it in there.
I
That's
think about that. My
me.
husband, laughs all the time because we talk about like if the world was ending, like what would you do? Like how would we survive? Or like what I mean? We talk about those things, and he was just like, "I'm not worried about you, girl. You probably got like 35 things around this house ready that people would not think is something that they would should be alarmed about, but it could do some damage. You're damn right.
Exactly.
You're
Exactly.
damn right. You're not lying,
Exactly.
and don't yes."
But that's me. See, look at all those dog shit. This is ridiculous.
You got dogs when you had that on stack. It was right there ready. She said, "These damn dogs. I knew I was gonna need these."
I mean, but it sits right here because I know,
Mm-hmm.
especially if I have on black and I know he's coming. So it is what it is. This is ridiculous. Um, let me ask two or three more questions.
Okay.
Uh, I had a good question for you. Define success, and do you feel like you've reached it?
No, I have not reached it. And success is when. Well, no, hold on.
What's your idea of success?
I've fibbed a little bit here, not intentionally. My idea of success is even when every thought in your head, because your mind is your biggest op, when every thought in your head is trying to turn you against something you wholeheartedly in your soul feel conviction about, and you still push through and do it, you succeed. You succeed. So, yes, I would say that I did succeed because I said, as many times as I almost did not release Take Me There, as many times as things came up that try to like stop me from doing it, um, I kept pushing. And that's why I said that the word that I would like to say that describes me is resilient. And it's not because any outside forces is stopping me, it's me. I'm my biggest op. My mind is my biggest op. My trauma is my biggest op. And I constantly have to battle those voices that tell me I'm not good enough. I can't do it. This is not for me. Everybody's gonna know that I'm honestly not as good as I think, that I'm a failure or whatever. And I ignored all those and pushed through and released two books this last year. And I'm projecting to release four this year. And um like I don't care. I'm gonna do it. And I think that that's success.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you, Jazzy. And so I
What's
think that's success. So I do think, yes, I did succeed.
I think you did too.
Hmm.
I do. I do. I do. And I'm very proud of you
Thank
because I
you.
was like, I want to say, bitch, what the fuck is you writing over here? That me. I hope you don't take offense. I was like, bitch.
No. Oh no, that's my favorite word. I never know when I can call and be like, bitch, what? Because some people get offended by that, but I
I
don't.
know because I was like, it depends on the context that you use.
Yes, how you use it.
You writing over here. I,
Yeah.
but I tell you how to time. Um, what are three things you have to have when you're writing?
Ooh, okay. I have to have a blanket. Currently, this blanket is my supernatural blanket. And it says carry on my wayward son because Supernatural is like my favorite show ever. I have to have my water bottle. I have to have water. And I have to have music. Those are things I
Hmm.
always have to have. Obviously, I have to have my laptop and blah, 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 but I always have to have music, my blanket, and my water. And for,
Hmm. Interesting.
for just a razzle dazzle, I gotta have some sort of snack. Yes, Bean, my man. I love that man so much. Love that show. But yeah, so
So,
yeah.
so what kind of snack are we having?
Ooh, if it's sweet, it's gotta be like a dark Milky Way, like the midnight dark Milky Way. Have you ever had one of those?
Mm-hmm. Not my thing, but okay.
I love dark chocolate and nougat, so that's probably why I like really love it. Or I have to have the salted caramel Twix.
Now I can have that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then I like the popcorn that's like that looks like a tortilla.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Mm-hmm.
those and or like some pretzels or something like that. That's pretty much like just like a little snacky food.
I love that. I love that. Okay. What is your idea of the great American novel? Not what society deems. What's your idea of the great American novel?
Ooh, that's a really
It's a good question, huh?
it is.
Because everybody's, I feel like when you're on this side of literature,
I gotta remember the name. I know exactly what book it is, but I have to remember the name. Keep going. I have to know
yeah, when you're on
remember
this
the name.
side of literature, it's not what society deems. Like my idea of the great American novel is it has to have some type of emotional stake for me. It has to have some drama. It has to have good characters. It has to have and it may not end the way that I think it's going to end. Like my favorite great American novel I think is The American Marriage
Ooh.
by, I forgot what her name is. But I got it on, and I'm not a big Oprah's book list, but we got it from Oprah's book list, and that was an excellent book, even though it did not end the way we thought it was going to end.
I have it. It's I don't you really wouldn't call it a novel so much because it's a collection of poems.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to remember I know the poem that specifically that's in there, but I can't remember the book it came out of, so I had to re-look that up. But Langston Hughes is my favorite um is one of my favorite poets.
Mm-hmm.
Langston Hughes as well as Paul Laurence Dunbar. But I had to say Langston Hughes because I can't say Paul Laurence Dunbar without bringing Langston Hughes up from the Harlem Renaissance. So I had to say that. But his Paul Laurence Dunbar, his book Major and Minors, he wrote the We Wear Masks,
Mm-hmm.
and it's my favorite poem ever because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that is that whole entire collection of poems honestly was very much a testament um of the struggles of people, period. I mean, I guess it
Mm-hmm.
depends how you look at it. It was really very much written in the Black narrative how we constantly have to wear masks when we are in the presence, like during that time in the presence of white people, and how we, project ourselves so that we are not deemed um, scary. And that's the way my brain is thinking of to say it right now. Like, you know what I mean? So, um, but We Wear Masks was
We
my
have to
favorite.
fit into their
Yeah, to fit
societal
in
norm.
into their narrative, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But it also it's really good. It can be used for everybody, really, how we constantly wear masks to hide who we really are so that we are not looked at like a monolith, that we're not looked at different, that we're not where we can hide our pain, and I feel like that is that all those poems in there are very much, I would say that's why I think that that would be, because it hits home a lot on how a lot of people feel and how much we hide or how much we are suffering in silence, really. And it's still relevant today. And those collections of poems, guys, came out in 1865, and we're in 2025, and it's still prevalent today. So that's why I think that that's why it's like a great American novel.
Do you feel like urban literature fits into the mode of the great American novel? Because
Yes.
I feel like it's a lot of them, but I'm going to use Lady Nisha's Losing Control.
I have not read that yet. Oh, don't hate me, y'all.
I
And I'll tell you,
don't
I
because
have
you're
not
busy.
read it.
You're
No, it's not
busy.
that. It's not that I tried, and it's not that it's not good, because I bet you it's good. I do not read a lot of third person.
Oh, okay.
It takes a lot for me to read third person because my mind doesn't see it like a movie, like I do when I read first person, because like when I read it, like I went to the da 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 da, like my brain becomes this person. But in third person, it takes a little extra effort for my brain to complete this movie because I'm an imagery reader. Like what I
Mhm.
read on a paper comes out in a movie in my brain. So sometimes it's hard. So I don't really read a lot of third person because it gives me after a while I begin a headache. Now there are some people who do write third person that I don't even realize that I'm reading third person. And
Right.
not just because she's my sister, but Nasty is one of them, Beauty is one of them, D.A. Young is another, K. Alex Walker is another as well, that I can really read them. I just mostly if I open up a book, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I open up a book and I'm really in a read mode, and I'm like, oh, I'm ready to devour. I just finished this, so I want to devour something else. If I open a book and the chapter says chapter one, Charisse, and then it says, Charisse went to the move on. I'll come back to you later. And I have a slew of books in my thing that I bought that I do want to read. And Lady Nisha's book, Losing Control, is in there. I bought it. It's in my
It is.
Kindle
I feel like it's
for
one of those
sure.
books that it drew so much emotion out of me.
Hmm.
You know who else I'm gonna dare to say has a great American novel and it's a series? E. Bowser.
Oh, baby, I wanted you to say that. Yes,
To me, that
that lady needs to go
identifies.
down in history for that goddamn series. I don't care. Can somebody pick her up and make it into a movie, make it into a show, make it into a freaking live action play? I don't care what you need to do. Live reenactment, I don't care. But she really did her big one on that. She really
And I'm
did.
gonna say right after E is Jaquel.
Me and Jacques are
She
gonna tussle right now for real because I wouldn't decide to go back in her catalog. And let me tell you, back in the day, Jacques was messy as
and
hell
she's still messy.
and still messy, but she's learned how to. I feel like she's learned how to hide and blend the messiness in a little bit more. But she was in your face. Oh my
She's
gosh.
still in there. Listen, she's still in there. But when I tell you, she had me in chokeholds. Quamir, Quamir, my man, my man, my man. I don't care what any of
I
y'all
love
say. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to. Y'all can say it's Quamir. I mean, I'm at Quamir. What's his name? Uh
Capadonna.
Quasine. No, it's
Pussy.
Quasine. Y'all can call Capadonna. Y'all can even call Capone. But when I tell you Quamir is my man, because you can't say nothing about his shug. Don't say nothing about his shug. It's on and popping. But I still feel that her writing has just going back to some of her older works and reading that into what she's morphed into today,
Mhm.
stellar.
I agree.
Stellar.
I do agree. I do agree. I agree with you. I mean, other than Lady Nisha, I haven't read her yet, but I know it's on. I know it's going to be good when I'm really like. I have to be in a mental headspace to hit a third person so I can devour and appreciate it. I don't want to read someone's work and skim through it and not appreciate it for what it's worth. So this is why I shy away from it. It's not that I'm like, oh, your reading's terrible. Your writing's terrible. It has nothing to do with the writer. It's me. So I don't want to not. I don't want to read it and not give it my full attention that it deserves.
Right.
But I have that book. I have Losing Control, and then there's another book.
Finally famous.
Finally
Lucid
Famous. I have
Dreams.
Yes, I know. Is I have Lucid Dreams and Losing Control is the two books that I bought that are in my Kindle, just chilling, waiting for me to read them. And I will definitely read them for sure because I know that like I feel that they're going to be good. Like when I read the synopsis, when I look at the cover, like I look at a book and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna like this. Even sometimes just look like I can just feel it. I don't know what's up. Maybe I really have like a third sense or something. I have yet to pick up a book that I've been like, oh, I have a good feeling, read it and it wasn't good. There's been books that I picked. I'm like, oh, I'll just give this a try, and then it wasn't really hitting me the way that I want it to hit me. Um, but she's definitely one of mine that's on there, and I do agree with you with Jacquel J that she like her like because I caught Capadonna because I mean I read the Delgado series because Capadonna came up first and I like, oh, try this book, and then I opened it and I said and then I started reading. She was like, if you have not read Capone, you want to go back. And I said, oh, okay. So I looked up Capone, and this is before I ain't never seen it on social media. I never seen nobody talk about it. And they were, it's just it wasn't hitting my For You page yet. And I read Capadonna, and I said, see, I already read this.
Right,
Is
right.
this what is going on? And it just kept getting diving deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's really, she is really, and now going back to her older books, I see the beautiful growth that makes me so happy. And that's why I love finding authors who've been at it for a while. Although I do love finding new authors for real, but I love the new to me authors who's been in the game for a minute because I love going back and just seeing the journey. And I think as an author, I appreciate that because I can't wait till I get to a point where I go back and I read Take Me There and I'm like, what the is this? Because I've
And
grown so much. I can't wait for that because I won't be disheartened. I'm going to be excited to be 100% honest, but I'm